people. You do not stifle the people. You don't turn off their microphones when they are speaking about the importance of life and liberty.
You know, I can't help but wonder what these people actually think when they go to another state to speak. We all know Kamala Harris does nothing, accomplishes nothing, kind of like her boss, Sleepy Joe Biden. But Harris went to Tennessee on Friday because she was upset that two Democratic lawmakers got expelled from their legislature for leading protests about gun violence to the state capitol. The people in Tennessee are calling it an insurrection. I don't know, but it was a very large, very loud protest. I don't believe there was any violence. And I don't know that much about it to say that those legislators shouldn't have been expelled or not. But Harris gets involved in things that are important to that political party. She's in Tennessee. She didn't go to meet with the families of the victims of the school shooting. She didn't go to attend funerals. She didn't go to attend a candlelight vigil or a mass about the people celebrating their lives, the lives that were lost. No, she went because Democratic lawmakers were removed from their seats for something that the Republicans thought deserved it. Well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But in Tennessee, these people would rather have their children basically indoctrinated in school by reading pornographic books, learning about all this gender nonsense. And the Republicans, led by the governor, were going to pour billions of dollars into the schools to harden them, make them safe, make them more secure. And the parents and students are basically pushing back against that idea. They just want to ban guns altogether when we all know that banning guns is not the answer, it's not the solution, and taking guns away from law-abiding citizens is definitely not the answer. But back to Kamala for a second. She was so animated and so loud. She should have been that way, and she should be that way, doing the job that Sleepy Joe appointed her to do by securing our nation's border. But oh no, she could care less about that. Let the illegals come in because the Democrats want people to vote without IDs, so the more that come in, the more votes they'll get. Well, here's that full clip of Kamala with her basically useless speech as far as I'm concerned. So have a look at this.
Democracy says you don't silence the people. You do not stifle the people. You don't turn off their microphones when they are speaking about the importance of life and liberty. These leaders had to get a bullhorn. They had to get a bullhorn to be heard. And then guess what? Because you know what? Can't have those voices in that room challenging notions about who should say what and when and where. Let's expel them. Can you imagine? Let's get rid of them entirely. Let's remove them not only for that moment, but remove these people who have been elected to represent the people. What is that? That is not a democracy.
You know what? They're such hypocrites. She's talking about silencing people, stifling people. Isn't that what the congressional Democrats did during the election? Didn't they basically align with Twitter to have stories taken down or blocked altogether about the Hunter Biden laptop? It's all out now. The Twitter files. We know it's true. They made sure that stories about Hunter Biden were not brought to the public before Joe Biden was put in the White House. But she's talking about silencing people, shutting off microphones. These are the most hypocritical words that any Democrat can say. Excuse me, this is what they do. They don't want one party saying anything because you might trigger somebody, you might offend somebody, and how dare you say what's on your mind and have an opinion under the Constitution of the United States. The Democrats don't believe in the Constitution of the United States. They believe that they should make the rules and the laws of what we can say, what we can do, and what we can think. Under the Democratic leadership, you are not allowed or are not supposed to have a voice. You're not supposed to say something that may be against the opposite side because you'll be spreading misinformation. Whatever happened to a debate from both sides telling what's on their mind, how they feel about certain things? She is the vice hypocrite of the United States, and her boss is number one. So instead of going to Tennessee to complain that 2 lawmakers got expelled from their legislature, she should have been there speaking to those victims' families, attending their funerals, and doing something to make the schools safer, because that's what the Republicans in Tennessee want to do. But they want to take your guns away. They don't want to have armed security or police officers or armed military veterans guarding our schools. They don't want that. But they want to teach kids that they can change their gender. We know they can't. They want to teach kids that sex is okay when they're 3 years old, when they're 10 years old. They want to teach them about how to have sexual relations, basically. That's all these people care about. They want to indoctrinate children, even though they say they're not. They want to stifle us, the American people, when we have an opinion about what they may or may not be doing. And she's on that podium screaming, basically, saying, how dare you stifle people, silence people, shut off their microphones. I think they all need to go back with their teams, if you will, and rethink everything that they so-called care about, because they care about one thing, and it's what they want, what they think is right, because us, as the American people, do not have the right to have an opinion and voice our opinion or concerns about stuff that we think is going on that may make things worse instead of better. Because if we do that, if we voice our opinions, let's say on the alphabet people taking a 6-year-old and giving them puberty blockers, or any kind of gender affirming surgeries, we can't be against that, because the children, after all, know that that's what they need at those young ages. And the Democrats believe that, but I don't believe that, and I'm sure you don't believe that. They want to take all of our freedoms away. They want to stifle our speech. They want us blocked or our posts taken down on social media if we're voicing our opinion. And they want to take our guns away. They want to take the guns away from law-abiding citizens. And they don't want to make schools more safe. They just want to say, if we get rid of the guns, everyone's going to be safe. And you know as well as I do that if a criminal wants a gun, they're going to get one. And that lunatic in Tennessee happened to have legal firearms, which she shouldn't have had because she was being treated for a mental illness. So yeah, they need to toughen gun laws maybe. They need to toughen background checks because there has to be a way that they can figure out if someone is being treated for a mental illness and they should not have possession of a firearm because of that. Because that's the problem here. It's mentally ill people who are able to purchase firearms legally, and if they weren't, and they were dead set on doing or committing such a horrific crime, they'd still be able to get a firearm. So this big ban on semi-automatic weapons and pistols and rifles is nonsense. Do something to protect the kids, like making the schools safer. You want to spend money in Congress? Spend it on paying retired police officers, retired military veterans to watch and guard our children in school, because I'm sure there's millions of them out there who would jump at the chance to protect kids from lunatics who want to go in there and shoot up the schools because they have a problem with someone or something that's going on in the country. Because this is never going to stop. They're never going to stop school shootings until they put the protections in place, not ban guns, because it's not going to work. Okay? Strengthen background checks and put people in place to protect our students. A sign on the wall saying this is a gun-free zone does not protect the children, although some of these left-wing Democrats think that's the solution. Wake up, Carmella. You're doing nothing but blowing hot air. You should be grieving with families instead of grieving and being upset because a couple of your legislative cronies got kicked out of the chamber for leading a protest. And that's it. If you haven't liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, share this video. I mean, this is ridiculous. These people are so wrong and so hypocritical. They need to change their thought process 100%. Have a great night. I hope everybody's healthy and safe, and I'll see you soon.